Indians living in Auckland Facebook group has become a formidable entity, not just in Auckland, but in the rest of New Zealand. I'm Venkat Raman, one of those involved with this group, and it's a great opportunity for us to speak today to someone who created this group, who established it, and has been responsible for its success all these years. Someone whom Indian Newslink has known since his arrival in New Zealand more than 20 years ago. Someone Indian Newslink and many of us in the Indian community have benefited by his expertise in human resources and most importantly in helping people. We are talking about Munish Bhatt, our dear friend, who is going to talk to us on various issues, interviewed by Rashna Tata, who is also an integral part of Indians Living in Auckland Facebook group. Munish, welcome to the program. It's like talking to ourselves, talking to you, because you are the creator of this group, and we want to felicitate you on this, making this group such a powerful entity, and continue to give your time and your expertise to this group. And I now hand you over to Rashna Tata.
Thank you, Venkatji. Very, very pleased to have with us one of our admin team and one of the main people behind this group. And that is, of course, Indians Living in Auckland Facebook group. We are an actual community group. We speak for the community. We are interactive. We assist. We educate. And we inform the Indian community on various issues that concern them, both in New Zealand and in India. We have a membership of 50,000 people, as Venkatji has said. It is extremely humbling when people come up to you in public and say, we know you. So, that is the popularity of the group. Now, Munish happens to be the person who actually got me into this group. So sometimes I don't know whether that is a good thing or a bad thing. But I am very, very happy to have known him for a number of years. And as we have started this new initiative, Meet the Expert, the whole idea of doing that was that our community, the Indian community, benefits from the best possible advice. And, this is somebody who you would find hard. There would be nothing in real estate that Munish would not know. And there's also something about Munish. Now, I always feel a house welcomes you. But I also sincerely believe that it's the agent who makes you feel confident. So Munish is that kind of person. I have dealt with him personally in a house matter for my own reasons, and which is why this is our second interview. The first one was on mortgages, and it was very well appreciated. And Munish, as you know, I'm sure is going to be just as good as our first interview. So Munish, if you don't mind, may I start?
Yeah, just wanted to make one clarification. I was not the one who started this group. It was started by someone else who is in Australia right now. I met him during my real estate day, and he donated this to me just because he liked me. So
it's like Krishna's mother, everyone says is Yashoda, because she brought him up. But Krishna's real mother was Vasuki. So it's similar to that.
Very similar to that, yeah.
And Munish has very conveniently donated the group to me.
Carry on.
Okay. So Munish's background, just to, talk a bit about it. He has been involved in India in various big companies in a marketing and an MBA capacity. He's done his master's. And he also was working for the healthcare companies in India. He migrated to New Zealand in 2003, and following a few interim roles, he spent over a decade working for the Ministry of Social Development, focusing on migrant employment and settlements. Munish also co-founded Sprout, which is Sports, Recreation and Outdoor Trust. And the reason that I say this is to show you Munish's involvement in the community has always been steadfast, and something he's extremely passionate about. He has won a number of awards, and at the end of his sort of career with Ministry of Social Development, he transitioned from a secure government job to real estate, where he could leverage his marketing expertise with his passion for communities. And despite a challenging start, he quickly rose to become a leading agent in Southeast Asia, Southeast Auckland, and earning multiple awards. And we hope it's Asia too. During the COVID-19 lockdown, Munish pursued his further studies and obtained his real estate branch manager's license. And 3 years ago, he was offered the opportunity to open a new branch of Barfoot and Thompson in Mangere, a challenge that he totally embraced. And under his leadership, this branch has become one of the fastest growing branches in Auckland. Munish,
Thank you.
may I take you through the questions now? We have received a number of questions from our readers, and the Indian mindset towards home. It is the most important thing in their life. Every migrant who comes here, the first thing in his head is to buy a home. And who better to advise on all these issues that go along with the home buying process than you?
Thank
So,
you.
Munish, please, can you explain to our members what are the current trends in the local real estate market?
Yeah, good question. I mean, Auckland is a very volatile market, and one thing which you need to understand is in Auckland, a lot of factors. Three important factors is one is the economic condition of the country and what's happening with the immigration and the government policy. These are the three factors which defines what's happening in Auckland. What we saw in the COVID times, it was first time which has happened in the history of the country where we had a jump of massive jump in the price of the property. Right now, I tell to people is if you have bought before 2021, in 2021, the prices are as good as what was at the 2021 pricing. Another thing which we need to understand is that a lot of people say it's doom and gloom. It's not. If you see the current sales of the properties, it's more than compared to last year. What has happened in Auckland is the number of listings, number of options available for a buyer is more than it's a record numbers of options available for the buyer. But if you are buying and selling in the current market, why not? This is the right time to do it. And for first home buyer, it's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. Everyone is suddenly talking about this first home buyer. What advice would you give first home buyers? And what is this recent change that we hear in first home buyers, in the first home buyer market?
So the key thing about the first home buyers is, I would say, is if you are a first home buyer, you need to do your homework. You need to sort your mortgage. You need to sort your finances out. You need to know how much you can borrow, and always do your due diligence. I would also recommend that you need to have a buyer's agent who can take you around and show you different properties. What has happened with the recent change in the government policies, some of the schemes which were available are no more available. However, looking at the current market, there are a lot of deals available. And my suggestion would be is do your due diligence. Don't rush into making an offer. You should buy something which you like.
Okay. In a demand driven market, does location have any more significance?
Good question. I think location. Location plays a very key role. I'll give you an example. One of a dear friend of mine, they had not recently, 3 years ago, they bought a house which were bit away from the school, bit away from from the mall, from all the amenities. And they got it at a good price, but they were not happy. And when we met again, they said, "Oh, we like everything about the house, but we don't like about the location." They ended up selling that house, moved closer to the school, and life has changed completely. So it's very important. Location. Why location? Location will help you a lot of save a lot of time. Location will help you when you resell the property, and location will also help you to kind of save a lot of time. Yeah, that's the key
I've
reason.
got a counter to that, Munish. Say 20 years ago, no one wanted to buy properties in Takanini, Papakura, for that matter, even in East Tamaki. There was not much of a demand because this concept of location was there. But over the years, as you have seen, people are prepared to go beyond Papakura and live. People live in Pokeno and other places and go and work in North Shore. So do you think that's the reason why I think this person has asked you this question? Does it matter anymore? Don't people just want a house which is at a good price and properly constructed? And that is where people like Buffett and Thompson and you would come into the equation.
Yeah. Okay. For me, the key thing is I will look at if you can work remotely. If you can work remotely, and even your partner can work remotely, location may not be that impactful for you guys. But if you are working in city, both of you working in city, a house closer to city will have a big kind of impact in your daily life. Same way, if you are a young family where you got 2 3 kids, some location closer to school will save a lot of time. And most important is the after school activities. If you are near the school zone, there are a lot of activities happening in the school, so that's becomes an easy access for people.
I absolutely agree with you. It happened with us, with our son when we moved here, and we wanted that certain school, so we were happy to rent in that school area for a few years. Totally agree with you. Now, Munish, what are the common mistakes sellers make when listing their homes?
Great.
And I'm sure you must have seen a lot of those.
I mean, the biggest there are a couple of things which mistakes which they make, but one thing is they overprice their property. They have no idea where their property is sitting, and they have a kind of they overprice their property. Second thing about is the presentation of the property. They often ask me why this property has sold for 100,000 more than what you're telling about our property, and I say just look at the photos. Presentation of a property makes a lot of difference. And one more thing is the method of sale. A lot of times I have noticed that an auction helps you get a premium price because buyers compete with each other and help you achieve a premium price. So these are the reason, I reckon 3 reasons. One is I think the method of sale you choose, and you need to spruce up your property, you need to make sure decluttering is taken place, and you price it right. These are the 3 reasons which sellers should be taking care of.
It has to attract enough attention
100%.
and look good. Yes, absolutely. Manish, how important in your field and in your own view is navigating negotiations for best outcomes?
So negotiation is a key role in real estate industry, and that's why you need expert to look into this. I always believe there are 2 people and they need to have something common, and that common thing can be achieved by negotiation. So always believe in that process. You don't need to rush into it. Be patient. Negotiation is a very important tool in real estate, and just follow the guidelines which is given by your real estate agent, and it will help. You need to open up to your real estate agent. Like when you go to a doctor, you tell everything. Same thing need to happen with your real estate agent. Treat him professional. treat him as if he is a professional and tell him everything. How much is your budget? What price? What condition you need? And he will help you negotiate the right price.
Correct. Correct.
This is like they always say you should tell the truth to your lawyer and doctor. Now it should include real estate agent also.
100%, I agree to that.
Good, good, good. Munish, can you elaborate on the impact of government policies on the Auckland market, especially right now, in the situation that New Zealand finds itself in?
So, from my understanding, it plays a key role. Like government policy decides on whether the market is going to go up or going to stabilize. Classic example is the Kiwi Build, amazing product. I used to love that product. I've sold a lot of those products, and the Kayangora, partnership in buying the first home. So what happens is more buyers come into the pool, and it impacts the whole economy of the country. Looking at the current situation, all these schemes are not there anymore. So it's going to be tough for first time buyer. I'm sorry, but it's going to be tough for you. But I'm hopeful with the way things are moving, something new is definitely coming, and it's going to be on the horizon. So government policies do play a key role.
Also, you briefly mentioned this, but every agent forces you or maybe cajoles you towards going towards an auction. You mentioned, auctions being successful. Would you elaborate a bit more? Does it always have to be an auction?
Look, I'm a big fan of auction for the simple reason is nobody exactly knows the true value of your property. The agent who comes into your house and appraises your property, he is appraised in comparison for other properties which have sold very recently. Auction is a process. What about your neighbor if they have a family who wants to buy this property? They are ready to pay more than the market price. Auction is a process where you will definitely get more premium price for your property. Another advantage of auction is it's an unconditional sale. So there are no condition attached to your property, and moreover, it's a high profile. It's a very high profile thing. There is a deadline. Like in 3 weeks, the property would be sold, and you can move on with life. So that's the reason.
Okay, excellent. Munish, can you specify on the importance of due diligence for buyers? We keep hearing this term due diligence, do your due diligence, but how important is it for a buyer?
I would put it very simply is when you buy a car, you make sure you go to AA to find out the history of of your car. Same thing, if you are buying $1 million house, why not get a building inspection done, a toxicology report done to find out what's there in the limb? These are very important. It's one of your biggest investment of your life. So you need to do due diligence, and I would even go a step further. Well, I will go and look out how the neighborhood looks.
I actually used to, when I was looking for a house, I would go in the night to see what the neighborhood looked like in the night. Am I pleasant? Am I, okay with what it looked like? I know you have been extremely successful, and even though you started later in than most people did, but you grew really, really fast. I mean, there was nobody in East Auckland that did not know Munish Bhatt of Barfoot and Thompson. And your success stories of some unique property transactions undertaken by you would make very interesting listening.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. There's one transaction I often tell to my team is it was maybe my first or second property which I was selling. A young South African couple walks into my open home and they ask me, should we buy the property you are selling or the property next door. There were two properties in Botany, exactly same price. And I said, you should buy the other one. And they asked why. I said, that one has got a better view. They ended up buying that property. I had no idea. The only touch we had with them was through emails. In my CRM system, an email will go to them every month. After 2 months, I got a phone call. Can you come and appraise this property? And when I visited that property, I met both of them again and said, you know why we selected you? We selected you because at the time when you were selling, instead of selling your product, you advised us to buy that property and we enjoyed the views. We are moving to Australia. Can you sell our property?
Oh, wow.
And after selling that property, they introduced me to the both set of parents. So we ended up selling a property in Botany. We ended up selling in Papakura. So there were 3 transactions
From your honesty.
just by saying the thing which they which was right. Yes.
Absolutely. And that is what you want. And that's what I said. When one meets you, it's your face that actually put me to, sort of peace. And I said, this is the person I want to deal with.
Thank you.
Now, there are advice for our members and listeners looking to make a career in real estate and any anticipated changes in Auckland's real estate landscape with remote work. Because, everybody wants remote work. Nobody wants to go to the office anymore. So how does this work in the real estate industry?
So look, real estate is something where you need to be face to face. This, if you are admin side of it, it can be remote, but anything to do with selling, it has to be face to face. The simple reason is trust can only be built when you are meeting people face to face. And if you, can I talk about if people want to join real estate?
Absolutely.
So if you're looking to get into real estate industry, I would say this is an industry which has given more millionaires than any other industry in the world. The only catch is you should be able to give minimum 60 to 80 hours a week.
Wow.
And you need to have a routine. This is an industry for people who can get up early in the morning, who can go and exercise and spend a lot of time in meeting people. This is not an industry if you don't like to interact with people. It's not an industry for people who cannot accept setback. Like, to all of you, I will look like an extrovert. But I will share a story. 3rd month into real estate, and I told my wife, I don't want to do this job. This is not me. For the simple reason, I lost 2 deals in one day. There was no money coming. But my wife said, you are made for this industry. So got up again, started the same thing. If you can follow the process, this is the best industry in the world. Connect with me if you want to join real estate industry. It can change, it can bring financial freedom to your family.
Absolutely. Munish, that was a wise wife who prodded you to go on. And I do know Shweta, and I do know how wise she is. Now, this is a question from a member. Is there ever a perfect time to buy or sell? Or what is the best market for both the buyer and the seller? Is there ever a market that's good for buyers and sellers? Or you always hear it's a seller's market, it's a buyer's market? So how does it work?
Okay, I'll give you an example. If you go online, my boss, not my boss, my director, one of the founder of Barfoot and Thompson, Garrett Barfoot, is selling his property.
Wow.
In current market. I sold my property just before COVID, and in COVID, that property which we sold had appreciated by 50%. So there is, nobody has that crystal ball where the market is. if you have, it depends on your personal situation. If you're buying and selling in the same market, selling and buying in the same market, it's not going to make difference. It all depends on your personal situation.
So at the moment, if you were to get less for your own house, which is what apparently everybody speaks about, but you would also be buying another house for a lower price. So does it even out?
Exactly. That's always I've seen as if you are selling, it all depends. If you are selling your property and you have presented it well and you have chosen the right method of selling, an auction, and you might get a better price with your own property, and you end up buying a property which is on market for a while and you see an opportunity there, you might get more money.
Okay, yes, of course. Munish, there's one very interesting concept that we'd like to know about. You see these ads appearing everywhere, on Trade Me especially, the $1 property. What do you make of that?
I would say those vendors are very brave. Like, I have never done a $1 auction in my life, nor I know of anyone in my team have done. But people who do that, they know the value of their product, and it works. It always works. I have seen a $1 auction get so many people in, all the bargain hunters come in, and it helps you achieve a price more than you were expecting. So it works. It is just you need to have the capacity to take the risk.
Absolutely. And what do you see in this coming sort of, we've had a change in government, we've had a change in, outlook, how the economy is going to turn out. What do you think is going to be the trend over the coming next maybe months, next year?
My understanding of Auckland market, this is my understanding, is that the market will stay stable the way it is right now. Once the interest rates start dropping, things will start changing and investors will come in. That's how the market will go up again. So till mid of 2025, the trend is going to stay the same.
Oh,
But there are some changes coming up in July. So we will see more investor activities happening. So my suggestion to everyone, if you have got money, maybe this is the time to buy. This is the time to buy.
absolutely. And what about first home buyers? Should they hold on till they see the interest rates falling? Should they jump in now?
Again, a very difficult question to answer because I was reading there's a conflicting report coming from different banks and a lot of economists. Uh, if you find the right house, buy it right now. It's all depends on, again, if you find a location where you want to live in, this is the time to buy. It might go down, it might go up. I don't have the crystal ball, but this is the time to buy.
Okay. And what about all these people who have, gone overseas and rented out their houses now? At some stage, they will all be back probably. And do you see that glut coming into the market again?
Definitely. So what winter is a slow month. Winters are the slow month in real estate industry. However, my understanding is July onwards, we will see some more listing coming in the system because of the simple reason is the change in the government policy. And people who are able to afford, they will wait for the next boom. The one who are not able to afford will come into the market soon.
Right. Venkaji, is there something interesting that you need to ask?
I think Munish has covered all aspects of the real estate market. I wanted to ask him about his impressions of the budget to 2024, which was introduced to Parliament yesterday. But he has, in a way, answered about the interest rate movements. But the just last question is, if, as Adrian Orr has indicated, that interest rates may not move down this year, would the market remain somewhat nervous, or do you think the process of recovery will start because the budget is coming? People now know where the fiscal policy of the government will be, that there's likely to be greater relief, if at all. How does Barfoot and Thompson, being the leaders in the market, how have you read the budget, or is it too early?
It's too early. I had just, I've glanced through the budget. My understanding is once the investors will come back into the Auckland market, things will start and moving up. Right now, you will hardly, if we're doing 10 transactions, one investor would be buying.
Okay.
So we need to get investor. Investor will come when the government will relax the income to debt ratio. Investors will come when the interest rate
So it
will
is
go
still
down.
wait and watch.
Wait and watch, and I have a feeling early 2025, mid 2025.
Thank you,
We'll be
Munish.
going
As you know, you're always welcome to Indian Newslink office, and over the years, we have enjoyed our conversation with you.
Thank you very much, Munish. Pleasure meeting you. Is there one last piece of advice you'd like to give our members?
Keep coming to Indians living in Auckland. It's your home, away from home. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.